Welcome back to the Lagoon, everybody. It's Gill-boy here. I have a very special audiobook planned for you today. Surprisingly, it's not anything written by Edgar Allan Poe or H.P. Lovecraft, as majority of these videos have been. In fact, since we're fastly approaching Christmas, I wanted to do some old school kind of Christmas classics. Now, I was given this special little volume of little books when I was a wee lad, a wee young Gill-boy in the lagoon swimming about, and I do plan to read quite a few of them, but I wanted to kind of take a break from Lovecraft, not just because I am bored of it or getting burnt out, but I just figured it'd be a nice change of pace. And I'm kind of getting in the holiday season, the holiday spirit of Christmas, and the Yuletide and the winter solstice. Don't worry though, I still plan to do that double feature H.P. Lovecraft reading of The Strange High House in the Mist and the Festival, as well as Christmas poems by Lovecraft himself on Christmas Eve. But this week and the next week, I think we're going to branch out to more kind of iconic Christmas stories and poems, and maybe a little bit more of Lovecraft here and there spruced in. But I wanted to read, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there we go. The Fir Tree. Now, I read this when I was a young boy, and a lot of this has really cool art. You know, this is kind of like children's stories, but they're so iconic and fun, and I just thought it would be a fun little change of pace. And if you don't care for it, just let me know in the comment section down below. But I would like to try to experiment with this and see how everybody in chat likes it. And hopefully the audio quality is better on this video than in my last one. So without further ado, I guess I'll just go ahead and read this story. Now, this story is based on a fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen, and the illustrations are by Diane Good. And I'll try to show you the illustrations as we go, because they're really beautiful and I think add to this kind of fun, kind of like Christmassy vibe that it has. I guess before we get into it though, let's kind of discuss a little bit about this story. And this is a Danish literary fairy tale, and it's about a fir tree so anxious to grow up, so anxious for greater things, that it cannot appreciate living in the moment. This tale was first published on December 21st, 1844, with The Snow Queen and New Fairy Tales first volume, second collection in Copenhagen, Denmark, by C.A. Ritzel. One scholar, Andersen biographer Jackie Wolskaliger, indicates that the fir tree was the first of Andersen's fairy tale to express a deep pessimism. This tale was also adapted into a 28-minute video format in 1979 by Huntingwood Films, produced by Kevin Sullivan, directed by Martin Hunter, and filmed at Black Creek Pioneer Village, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And Jeff Kennert, I probably butchered your last name, so I'm sorry, sir, provided the voice of the fir tree, and this was the first film produced by Kevin Sullivan, who went on to write, direct, and produce Anne of Green Gables movies. And it was also adapted as a 16 episode of The Fairy Teller. And in 2011, the story was again adapted as a short Danish language film directed by Lars Henrik Ostenfeld and presented in a modern setting. So that's kind of interesting. Also, Charles M. Solch, author and artist of the world-renowned Peanuts comic strip, incorporated elements of the fir tree into his first television movie, A Charlie Brown Christmas, which aired December 9th, 1965 on CBS. So this is a very, famous, iconic, literary fairy tale Christmas story. And so I hope that you will get your hot cocoa or whatever you want to enjoy to drink, get yourself all cuddled up and enjoy this tale with me and relax within the garden area of the Grand Library. So without further ado, let us read The Fir Tree, based on the fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen, illustrated by Diane Good. And this is the Random House, New York publishing version of this tale. Go ahead and just show you the cool little art there, and I'll try to show you each art on each page. Out in the forest stood a pretty little fir tree. It had plenty of sunlight and fresh air, and all around grew many larger trees of all kinds. But the little fir tree was not happy. It took no pleasure in the sunshine and fresh air. It took no notice of the peasant children who came to look for strawberries. They would sit by the little fir tree and say, "How pretty and small this tree is." The fir tree did not like to hear that at all. It only wanted to be great and big. When it was winter and the snow lay sparkling all around, a hare would often come along and jump right over the little fir tree. This made the fir tree so angry. "Rejoice in your youth," said the sunbeams. "Rejoice in your fresh growth and young life." But the fir tree did not understand. "Oh, if only I were as big as the others," it said with a sigh. "Then I would spread my branches far around, and birds would build nests in my boughs, and I would not nod grandly in the wind." Two winters went by, and when the third came, the tree had grown so tall that the hare had to run around it. "Oh, to grow and become old, it's the finest thing in the world," the tree thought happily. When Christmas time was near, many young trees were cut down and taken away on wagons, but not the fir tree. "Where are they all going?" asked the fir tree. "Where are they being taken?" "We know," chirped the sparrows. "We looked in the town windows. We know where they go." "They are put into warm rooms and dressed up in the most beautiful splendor," said the sparrows. "Gilt apples, honey cakes, toys, and hundreds of candles. They are called Christmas trees." "Oh, how I long to be a Christmas tree," cried the fir tree. "It is my greatest wish." All year long the fir tree grew, and when Christmas came again, its wish came true. It was the first tree to be cut down. The axe cut deep, and the tree fell to the ground with a great sigh. I thought I would feel happy to leave," thought the tree, "but it is sad to leave my friends and my home." Dude's got a hardcore axe, man. "And my axe." The fir tree was no sooner taken to a yard when a man came and said, "This tree is perfect." So the fir tree was taken to a large house and put into a tub filled with sand. Then the servants and young ladies hung golden apples and walnuts from the branches. Dolls and toy soldiers swung on satin ribbons, and more than 100 colored candles were fastened to different bows. On the top was fixed a glittering gold star. "This evening," said the young ladies, "this tree will shine and shine." The tree could hardly wait for evening to come. At last evening came, and the candles were lighted. What a brilliant sight! "I wonder if the sparrows will come and admire me," thought the tree. "Will I grow here and be dressed so beautifully all year long? How wonderful that would be!" Suddenly the parlor doors were thrown open, and the children rushed in. They danced gleefully around the tree, and one present after another was plucked from it. The children rushed about so forcefully that branches cracked and the trees nearly fell down. What next? The fir tree wondered, feeling confused and a little sad. "Tell us a story," shouted the children as they drew a little fat man toward the tree. He sat down beneath it and told the story of Klumpty Dumpty, who had great troubles, yet married the princess and lived happily ever after. The children clapped their hands. Their fir tree had never heard such a wonderful story before. "Surely I will live happily ever after, too," it thought. "I will be dressed every evening with candles and toys, nuts and fruit. How jealous the trees in the forest would be if they could see me then." The fir tree stood quiet and thoughtful all night, thinking of its bright future. In the morning the servants came into the parlor. Now I'll be dressed again, thought the foolish tree, but the servants dragged the tree upstairs to the attic and threw it in a dark corner. What am I to do here? Thought the tree. What will happen to me now? Days and nights went by and nobody came to the attic. Perhaps they want to shelter me from the snow until spring comes, the fir tree said. If only it were not so dark and lonely here. There isn't even a little hare to visit me. Squeak, squeak, said two little mice as they crept toward the tree. Hello, old Christmas tree. I'm not old, said the tree indignantly. Tell us where you come from, said the mice. They were very curious. Tell us about the most beautiful spot on earth. Have you been there? I don't know, replied the tree, but I know the forest where the sun shines and the birds sing. And the tree told them all about its youth. Oh, how happy you must have been. Oh, how happy you must have been, said the mice. Happy, said the tree thoughtfully. Yes, I suppose I was quite happy. The next night the mice came with 4 other mice. Tell us another story, they said. So the fir tree told of when it had been hung with golden fruits and toys and lighted candles. How merry you must have been, cried the mice. What a splendid story. The next night a great many mice appeared, and even 2 rats. The fir tree told them the story of Klumpty Dumpty, who married the princess. Tell us another, said the rats. I don't know any other story, said the fir tree. So the mice and rats left the attic, and the fir tree was alone once again. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. It was nice when the curious little mice listened to me, sighed the fir tree. But now that too is past. I will be so happy when they take me out of this attic. At last, one morning people came and dragged the old fir tree outside into the garden. Tulips waved in the breeze, and all the trees were covered with pink blossoms. Now I shall live, said the tree, and it tried to spread its branches proudly, but they were all brittle and yellow. The tree lay forlornly in the corner among the weeds. A boy came and tore the gold star from it. Then he jumped on the branches till they broke. The fir tree looked at the lovely garden, and then at itself. It thought of its youth in the forest, and of Christmas Eve, and of the little mice in the attic. I was happy, and I never even knew it, said the old tree. I always wanted something else. Now it's all past, gone forever. Then the servant came and set fire to the tree. It blazed brightly and sighed deeply, thinking of its happy past and how foolish it had been. Each sigh was like a little shout, and then the tree was burned to ashes. Yeah, it's pretty metal. Pretty metal, look at that. Fire! I can imagine this was Beavis's favorite Christmas tale. So what can we say about this little short story here? It is pessimistic, but at the same time, I feel like oftentimes we don't realize what we have until it's gone. We take life for granted, and we don't often realize the good times that we're living in until they're gone. And then we try to go back and grasp for that, and before you know it, life's already passed you by. And so it's a good morality tale, in my opinion, of how to never take any moment of your life for granted. No matter how dull or horrific it might seem, you may in fact really truly be living in the best moments of your life, because life can always get worse and life can always get better. And everybody's had bad times in their life and everybody's had good times, and what you may be going through that's really awful may be nothing compared to what somebody else is going through that's awful. That doesn't negate the fact that what you're suffering, it doesn't negate your suffering, is what I'm trying to say. But enjoy your life. Christmas is a time of joy and of hope, and the true spirit of the holiday is often forgotten with how commercialized and corporate it has become. And no, I'm not going to get on my soapbox and get all preachy on you, but enjoy your life. Enjoy it. Like, just take a moment. Like for instance, I like to drink coffee, and sometimes I don't really take the time to enjoy it. You know, like I just drink it or whatever because I want the caffeine rush, and I've got to go to my job, and then I'm worried about, oh, well, I have to pay this bill, and then I have to do this to please my boss, and then I have to do this, and I have to have this plan, and then I have to go do here with my family, and in the time of worrying about other things, I don't just sit back and enjoy the little things, you know, like I can breathe, you know, air into my lungs. I can enjoy that sip of coffee. I can savor its flavor, its taste. I can enjoy the warmth that it has, you know. And so, you know, enjoy your life. Enjoy the simple things. Enjoy it for however much you have it. And always try to find like the good things that are in your life. So I guess just to kind of drag out this video a little bit more, let me see if I can read a Christmas carol. So a little cool little book in here too. And every year I get this little collection out and either put it in the bathroom or in the coffee room or the tea room, what have you, whatever you want to drink. Maybe you want to have a cold beer or some whiskey or a cider. But I love the beautiful art in this. You know, it's gorgeous. But anyways, I'll just read this little beautiful carol called "Bring a Torch, Janet Isabella." It's a little photo of it. Bring a torch, Janet Isabella. Bring a torch, Janet Isabella. Bring a torch to the cradle run. It is Jesus, good folk of the village. Christ is born in Mary's calling. Ah, ah, beautiful is the mother. Ah, ah, beautiful is her son. It is wrong when the child is sleeping. It is wrong to talk so loud. Silence, all as you gather round, lest your noise should waken Jesus. Hush, hush, see how fast he slumbers. Hush, hush, see how fast he sleeps. Softly to the little stable, softly for a moment come. Look and see how charming is Jesus, how he is white, his cheeks are rosy. Hush, hush, see how the child is sleeping. Hush, hush, see how he smiles and dreams. Yeah, very beautiful. Fun little Christmas carol. I hope you enjoyed this kind of change of pace of this audiobook for this awesome Christmas carol. I think the next video will also be from this collection. This collection is got more Christmas carols, obviously, and The Night Before Christmas and the famous The Nutcracker. So I will definitely try to read this whole volume to you. I'll read a couple more Christmas carols in between those stories, and the next video might be The Nutcracker and The Night Before Christmas. Or I might include The Night Before Christmas on the Lovecraft video. We'll just see. Because I kind of want that video to be a little long in case someone may not necessarily have a big family and might not have somebody to spend time with. That way you can spend time here with me, Gill-boy, at the Grand Library in the garden area or in the Grand Hall. Now the Grand Hall is still under construction, and I hope to return there very soon. So hopefully the next couple of videos will be able to be filmed there, and I really hope so. If not, then we will continue our readings in the garden area, and I very much hope that you have enjoyed this. If you haven't, let me know. I hope you have. And just remember that life is sacred. Life is precious, and you matter, and you're here for a reason, and to enjoy your life and enjoy the little things. You know, go out and enjoy yourself a candy bar, a piece of chocolate, or a soda pop, or something like that. Even if it's water, you know, and enjoy your life. That's really important in this dreary time, because we're reading a lot of Lovecraft, and it's his works can be really depressing and nihilistic, or the insignificance of humanity. But in spite of that, humans are awesome. I am very pro-human. I think we're awesome, even though a lot of us are assholes. But in spite of that, you can still do good. You can still have happiness. You can still have peace. And so I hope your day is filled with nothing but peace and joy. And I really do hope you just enjoy yourself. So until next week, enjoy yourself, and I will see you. Stay salty, stay spooky, and Merry Christmas. And Cthulhu Fhtagn.